Drone pilot tries to take photos of Meghans' new home on the Heathrow flight path. A drone pilot risked disaster by trying to take aerial images of N.'s new home in the middle of the Heathrow passenger jet flight path yesterday. A photographer walking in Windsor Great Park yesterday took shots of the quadcopter soaring hundreds of yards into the air right in the center of one of the busiest airport approaches for passenger jets in the world. The drone flew south to north along the line of the Long Walk, the route Harry and Meghan took in a carriage on their wedding day last year, and hovered over Windsor Castle. It then returned south down the Long Walk before swerving east and heading directly to Frogmore Cottage before returning south from where it came from and disappearing. The drone flight took place between 5:02 p.m. and 5:08 p.m. on Saturday. The photographer, who snapped the drone on a long lens with a professional high-megapixel camera, estimated the height of the drone to be more than 980 feet, around 300 ft lower than the passenger jets. The maximum height a drone can be legally flown, even in an uncontrolled airspace, is 300 ft. The route taken by the drone was within very tightly controlled airspace. It was in what is called the London Central Zone, as well as being right in the middle of the Heathrow arrivals and departures flight path. It was also within 5 miles of the airport, which is a further controlled zone by law, and near Windsor Castle, which is a banned zone for drone flights. It is also illegal. Between midday and 7 p.m. on Saturday, this precise area was in the middle of the flight path for all arrivals into Heathrow Airport, with passenger planes flying through it at low altitude every 2 minutes. A website dedicated to tracking all flights in and out of international airports showed that at 5:03 p.m. on Saturday, right in the middle of the drone flight, 8 jets were lining up to make the final approach to Heathrow, flying over this exact part of Windsor. As passenger planes went over Frogmore Cottage every 2 minutes around 5 p.m. on Saturday. They were at a height of, a passerby said of the drone flight, "We were walking along the Long Walk towards Windsor Castle, a few hundred meters from the castle." The passenger jet flight path switches between times of day, and at this time 5 p.m. arrivals were coming in right over our heads. They are always very low. The noise is deafening. They come about every 2 minutes, and on Saturday that was their flight path all afternoon. Then in between the flights, we heard the distinctive whirring of a drone overhead. I was quite shocked. It flew over our heads at about 200 meters up towards Windsor Castle, and then went up very high, almost out of sight, but we could see that it came back towards us, then went to the east over to the area where I know Frogmore Cottage is. Then it returned to the Long Walk and flew back over our heads and went south out of sight. It was in the air. Harry and Meghan only moved into Frogmore Cottage on Friday. On Saturday, throughout the day, their new 10-bedroom home was directly under the flight path for Heathrow arrivals from around the world. Between 19 and December 21, 2018, hundreds of flights were cancelled at Gatwick Airport, following reports of drone sightings close to the runway. The reports caused major disruption, affecting approximately 140,000 passengers and 1,000 flights. Flights were also suspended for an hour at Heathrow in February. Kensington Palace refused to comment. Mail Online: a large commercial drone that came within 22 yards of an Airbus coming into Heathrow was one of 120 near misses in the last year, it was revealed in January. The number of near misses between drones and aircraft were up 29% from 2017, where just 93 were recorded. While in 2014, no Aeon anti-drone system has been placed on top of a commercial vehicle at Heathrow in a bid to stop the rising tide of drone-related incidents. Over a drone sighting at Gatwick led to a 120,000 passengers unable to take off or land at the airport. Passengers were stuck on planes for several hours and were forced to sleep on floors inside the airport as flights were cancelled between December 19 and 21. While on January 8 this year flights halted for almost 90 minutes at Heathrow Airport after a drone was spotted at around 5:05 p.m. Travel experts estimated that around 40 flights were delayed in the shutdown, with Scotland Yard later confirming that military assistance had been implemented to bring the incident to an end. Details of 18 of near misses in the past year were revealed by the UK Air Proxport UKAB. 4 of those investigated by the UKAB involved airliners which were approaching the West London hub. A pilot of an Airbus A380 spotted a large commercial drone pass along the right side of the aircraft within 20 meters at an altitude of 3,400 feet. The UKAB assessed that the drone was being flown in a way which was endangering other aircraft and concluded that the incident on July 22 last year involved the highest risk of collision. Another category near Mississippi featured an Embraer 190 aircraft at an altitude of 800 feet as it was coming into land at Glasgow Airport on September 7. A shiny white drone was flown immediately above the plane at just 15-30 meters away. The UKAB concluded that a definite risk of collision had existed. A horrific moment: Grand National horse is killed after falling at the first fence up for reviews. Meghan Markle snubs the Queen's doctors for her birth because she doesn't want men. Why working for finger-clicking Carol ain't no party. Kate's mother bombed. Diana's fatal injury was tiny, just in the wrong place. UK's top forensic pathologist Dr. Richard. How could bleeding heart plane passengers stop my rapist being deported? Young mum whose mother of severely epileptic 9-year-old girl weeps after Southend Airport border control sees. Strictly's Tess is daily left heartbroken after running over and killing her family's Maltese she. Tragedy at the Grand National as horse up for review dies in horror fall at the first fence. 2 men wield giant machetes as they square off in front of shoppers in Newcastle city centre, but shockwave roller coaster at Drayton Manor stalls with revellers still strapped and forcing staff to. Poacher is trampled to death by an elephant before his remains are devoured by a pride of lions who. Joyriding musician, 20, writes off £50,000 Aston Martin by crashing into HGV, then tells driver I am. Liam Fox joked that Emmanuel Macron, 41, was sleeping with his grandmother in Jive at the French. Football fan, whose Instagram account at Sussex Royal was stolen by Harry and Meghan, says he's now. The glamorous ladies of Aintree quaff champagne and pose for obligatory selfies as they cheer on the estate agents, including Foxtons and Hamptons, are duping homeowners into paying higher commissions.
Raindrop, drop top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.